relationship. So the word of the day is sabotage. That's going to be our word of the day. Sabotage is to deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct something. Saying of the day: you don't know what you don't know. This talk is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional guidance, advice, treatment, or diagnosis. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, substance use or abuse, or suicidal thoughts, dial 988. 988 is available 24/7 nationwide and staffed by trained crisis counselors who are just a text or call away. Our experiences help shape who we are, but with those experiences comes baggage. Our experiences help shape who we are, but with these experiences or with those experiences come baggage, unconscious patterns, and beliefs that are sometimes hard to shake off, especially if you're not aware of them. You don't know what you don't know. It's hard to shake off patterns that you aren't aware of. When you enter into a relationship, your partner accepts that you have baggage. So anytime we enter into a relationship, we all have to accept that the person that we're trying to get to know, the person that we just met, they got some baggage too. They might be insecure. They might have low self-esteem. They might be struggling with addiction. Trouble comes when the unconscious patterns or actions are not seen, addressed, and are let loose, causing harm to each other and the relationship. So the problem is when these patterns that you are not aware of, these behaviors that you're not aware of, they're not seen, you're not addressing them, and you just let these patterns or these things that you do, you unleash them on your relationship, and it's just destroying your relationship. So 5 ways to sabotage any relationship. The first one, making assumptions, assuming something. Never assume anything you should never assume anything, period. You just get that out of the way. If you want to know something, go ask the person. People who regularly make assumptions about their partner think negatively about them after they don't respond the way they wanted them to, or how they usually respond. So if you usually be like, I love you, and they don't say nothing, they don't love me no more. You calling them up on the phone. You done called her 4 times on the phone and she ain't picked up. Now you picturing her in the bed with some man. And you keep playing that picture over and over in your head of her in the bed with a man. Now, you know what's going to happen? It's going to go from an assumption to, I know you in the bed with a man. Now it's become a reality for you. So now you in that posture. So when she finally do pick up the phone, you address her like she just got through cheating on you. Making assumptions. People who regularly make assumptions about their partner think negatively about them after they don't respond the way they wanted them to, or how they usually respond. Once we take a thought or belief as a fact, we start having negative feelings or even negative actions towards our partner that could result in friction and arguing and can be toxic. Whenever you catch yourself making an assumption or about to make one, ask your partner about the facts and get their perspective. Never ever assume something. Ask your partner and get the information. Let them tell you. Let them confirm what you might be thinking, opposed to you just thinking it and assuming that it's reality. Because sometimes when you get into arguments with people and you start throwing your assumptions at people, you start losing credibility, because even if they are doing something wrong, they know you don't know what it is. If you keep having those thoughts that she's cheating, that's probably because you cheating. Come on, man. If I'm getting away with all of this, ain't no telling what she getting away with. 5 ways to sabotage any relationship. Number 2, unspoken understandings. You got to communicate, man, in a relationship. And if you ain't old enough and you ain't learned how to communicate in a relationship, something is wrong. Because if y'all don't have an understanding, you can't assume nothing. If you have a relationship, you need to communicate and talk about everything. Don't assume nothing. When we little kids, we're children, we come up with the little no. Come on, y'all. Come on, where my fellas gonna represent? Do you like me? Circle yes or no. Will you be my girlfriend? When we was little kids, we got the understanding off the top. You got grown people who just be hanging out, and you just start moving some of your clothes into the crib. You ain't asked you to be your girlfriend. She ain't never asked you to be her boyfriend. Y'all ain't never had a conversation. Y'all just going through the motions. Assuming that y'all boyfriend and girlfriend. Are we exclusive? That's a conversation you need to have. Is it just me and you in this thing? Unspoken understandings. Unspoken understandings more often than not are expectations of the future or agreements that we think the other person will follow without us saying anything. But if you do not communicate what you expect or what you want the other person to do, they will never know. Makes sense, don't it? The second problem is the thought that you can control what will happen, and unfortunately, no one can control the future. So, to prevent things from going sideways as much as possible, it is important to talk to your partner and ground your expectations, which means don't have no expectations of nothing. Communicate. It's important to talk to your partner and ground your expectations. Expectations or understandings have a high chance of not coming true. And when this happens, it creates negative feelings or unreliability, resentment, anger, and dejection in the person that had them in the first place. The best expectations are to have none at all and to communicate clearly with your partner about your thoughts, wants, and needs. 5 ways to sabotage any relationship. Number 3, refusing to apologize when you are wrong. Yeah, refusing to apologize when you are wrong will destroy, sabotage your relationship. Because when you can't apologize when you do something wrong, you're telling that person you don't care about them. Not apologizing in a relationship is a way to risk losing it and gives the message that you do not care about the other person. It can also be that you aren't apologizing because doing so would make you feel that you're weak or that there's something wrong with you. But not apologizing fosters distrust, anger, resentment, and weakens the bond in the relationship. Apologizing helps repair relationships by getting people talking again and makes them feel comfortable with each other again. A sincere apology lets people know that you're not proud of what you did and won't be repeating the behavior. Apologizing sincerely, acknowledge the other person's feelings, accept what you did wrong and what wasn't your fault. So you gotta accept what you did wrong and then explain, hold up, that part don't belong to me, and work to change it going forward. 5 ways to sabotage any relationship. Number 4, refusing to compromise. My way or the highway type of relationship. Those don't work. Relationships are about compromise, not sacrifice, but compromise. Refusing to compromise can come as a result of past situations in which you give the other person and not get anything in return. So you're giving something. So a lot of times, refusing to compromise, these people have been in relationships where they gave so much and they didn't get anything from it that they changed how they relate to people. Because you felt that you had given and later did not get anything in return, you might feel resentful and hurt. But communication is the key to preventing resentment and anger when it comes to when it comes time to compromise. The important thing is that you both feel heard and understood. So both people in a relationship needs to feel heard and understood in a relationship. In turn, it will be important that your partner feels able to do the same and that you're able to listen to. So you got to be able to listen to your partner. If one partner feels like they're being overlooked, ignored, or not being taken care of, it can create negative feelings that then manifest into arguments or negative actions. Communication and full expression are important to promote openness, vulnerability, and connection, because they say most cases when men cheat, their physical needs aren't being met. They say in most cases when men cheat, their physical needs aren't being met. So they go somewhere else to get them physical needs being met. They say in most cases when women cheat, their emotional needs aren't being met. Refusing to compromise can come as a result of past situations in which you give to another person and not get anything in return. Because you felt that you had given and later did not get anything in return, you might feel resentful and hurt. But communication is the key to preventing resentment and anger when it comes time to compromise. The important thing is that you both feel heard and understood. In turn, it will be important that your partner feels able to do the same and that you're able to listen to. If one partner feels that they're being overlooked, ignored, or not being taken care of, it can create negative feelings that then manifest into arguments or negative actions. Communication and full expression are important to promote openness, vulnerability, and connection. 5 ways to sabotage any relationship. And last one, number 5, always blaming and not looking at your part in things. That'll do it, won't it? Somebody who in a relationship with you, they always blaming you. You make one little mistake. Oh, the red flag goes off. They got a little bell. You can't make, you left the toilet seat up again. But they won't take responsibility for nothing they say or do. Nothing. They got an excuse or a reason or a loophole to get out of it. They keep a loophole for everything. People like this find themselves or their partner sometimes blaming each other over things. More often than not, we tend to blame the other person and not take responsibility for our own actions due to fear. But taking responsibility creates trust and dependability. When you can take responsibility in your relationship, that creates trust and they can be vulnerable with you. But when you won't clean up or take responsibility for the stuff on your side of the road, then I got to be looking at you like, When you take responsibility for your behaviors, you demonstrate to your partner your willingness to be honest and vulnerable, which in turn encourages your partner to be open and authentic with you. Taking responsibility looks like self-awareness, being able to apologize, and accepting that your actions affect your partner, having open communication, and being willing to admit things that are hard on them, and holding yourself accountable for your own actions and words. Working through all these problems takes time and communication. It's all right if you don't solve these overnight. And in fact, some can only be solved when we unlearn behaviors and patterns that don't work for us anymore. And that can take time. You don't know what you don't know. Because we all have some patterns. It's all about working against your miseducation, bro, in life. Who in here plays spades? All right. Okay, because I'm real skeptical of those people who be online with the tarot cards and I can read your future. And this is saying that you got some money coming, but you don't know how to play spades. You know, you can read a tarot card, but you can't play spades. He ain't been here in a while. He'd have noticed that a long time ago.
Talking to his homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
Like his girlfriend coming,
mm-hmm.
It's okay. But if he talking to a lady and she coming like everything start, who's that female? It's okay for him to talk to his homeboy, but it's a female. It could be a friend of you, not a girlfriend, but she start arguing with him because it's a female.
That's an immature relationship.
Yeah,
that's an immature relationship. Yeah. I mean, if you with somebody and you talking to a holding conversation, I'm a grown man. Let's just say that first of all. I'm a grown man. Can't nobody re-raise me. Come on, man. That's an immature relationship. You be better off by yourself than be in some toxic, silly stuff like that. Y'all going back and forth. Look, man, something my grandmother told me a long time ago, and I wish this is something every person in the world got a scoop of. Because if they did, they got a scoop of what my grandmother told me, then it would save them a whole lot of problems. And my grandmother told me one time when I got into an argument with a young girl, but she told me this when I was a young boy. She said, son, some things shouldn't be no argument. Some things shouldn't be no argument in your relationship.